how I bought my wife's job while she was working for the company. Welcome back to In the Know. I'm Tisha Pitts.
And I'm Tony Pitts.
And I know you guys saw the title, right? How I bought my wife's job while she was working for the company. Blah, blah, blah. It's interesting, right? However, I'm going to start it off with a question that we have. There are books and courses and TV shows and all alike on how to buy businesses and real estate, with no money down. Is that like real or like no money down?
Is that the question?
That's an old question. There are books and courses on how to buy businesses and real estate with no money down. Is that real or is it fake?
Okay. That's interesting. So, it's real, it's possible, it's doable, it has happened, but it's not common. I wouldn't try to build a whole business structure around buying things with no money, but it can happen. A lot of times, people will, they'll sell you courses or books on how to do this with no money, how to do that with no money. And again, they're like...
Or using other people's money.
Well, yeah, that's a little bit more basic, using other people's money, but buying something with no money, again, that's possible, right? Because I've done it, but I wouldn't start a whole business based around buying things for free.
All right, well, let's break it down.
Okay.
You said it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Rare, but possible.
Right.
And I also heard you say you did it before. So can you give us an example of how you bought a business or got some real estate with no money down, no money to give, but you walk away with like a whole...
So these are hacks, right? So let's talk about what some of those book writers or course writers mean. So when they say buy with no money down, it's just a more impactful word than just saying owner financing, right? So you're really not buying it with nothing or nothing down on a normal basis, but you can get the owner of an asset, whether it's real estate or whether it's a business, and get the owner to finance it by way of, not in the traditional sense where the owner is handing you some money and you're paying back a loan, but in the sense that here's the keys, here's the operation, company makes X amount of dollars per month as is, you're going to pay me X amount of dollars toward the purchase. So the business itself is what's really paying. So you can find owner financing on properties and you can find owner financing on businesses, but it's extremely rare. So it's probably like an inside situation where you know somebody, you have a relationship with somebody, you kind of know that they're motivated for whatever reason. They have their own reasons of why they want to get out and why they don't need a chunk of money right now for whatever reason. So
yeah, the question was,
so how did I do it?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you start off?
But
With how it all came about.
Oh, it's my story.
Hey everybody, click the link below, get a free ebook. What's it called?
How to start a business.
And what else?
How to start a business.
What every school should be teaching.
We out here trying to help the people. Free ebook.
Free ebook.
Like, subscribe, tell a friend, share.
You got it.
So what had happened was I, some years ago, was still working, and I'm a manager, I'm an operations director at heart. So I ended up getting a job as a manager at Chuck E. Cheese. And don't sleep on Chuck E. And that was back then. The money was up there. And the training was like a 6-week training up in Harrisburg. I was so geeked for this job. Had a ball. So did the training, got in, doing my job. 6 months into the business, something on the side, because of connections, because of networking, my dad knew a guy, and that guy was a budding entrepreneur and decided that he was going to buy a franchise, Liberty Tax Service. He bought that franchise. However, he needed a partner. He needed somebody to operate this business because he was a full-time pilot in the military. My dad's like, hey, my daughter, business-minded. She does great in this space. Let me connect. Connected, got in, we connected. I'm running the business. Now, I mean, the building we're renting, I gotta do everything from scratch. I mean, from file cabinets to setting up desks to setting up this whole office, hiring people, all of the nines. We did all of that. So I'm asking for the budget. I need the budget so I know, how to spend money. And by the time I got the budget, we were bleeding, like catastrophically out of business at this point. So overall, it wasn't structured well, but we got to this point where I gotta go. Now, I quit my Chuck E. Cheese job. I was 6 months in. I'm an opportunist. I'm a risk girl. I'm jumping in. I had the supports of dad and my husband. I'm going to do it. And now I'm in this space, and we ain't passed one tax season, and we are out of the game. So with that, I come home. I'm crying, all the tears. And I'm not a sit-down girl, so now I'm stressed out. I got to get another job. What? Let me take you back really quick. While I was working, I would come home with stories, and I would be like, my boss said this or my boss said that. And my husband would always say, your boss? Like, nah. You are a partner. Like, this is your business as much as it's his business. You're a necessity. You're in a partnership, so stop acting like an employee.
Word.
Don't use those words. Watch what you say. Me being a sponge, I respect his game. And so I'm learning from my partnership. I'm like, okay, don't say boss. All right. Went back to working and didn't say it anymore. My partner, when I referred to Sean, it was my partner. Fast forward to the ending of that story. So my husband says to me, well, what do you want to do? I don't know. I'm a ball of just nerves. I have no job. So he's like, do you want this business? And I confused. What do you mean? What do you mean do I want it? Like, do you want the business? And I'm like, yeah, I would love to have the business, but I run our bank account. I don't know what's happening. How do you do that? I said yes, and he went to work. What did you do?
I said, I'm going to go get it for you.
What type of?
So
you can't have them.
I ain't had no money. She ain't had no money. We ain't had no money.
Not to buy no business.
Nah, we just regular folk.
Yeah.
Still regular folk.
Yeah.
But what I know about business is there's more. Value doesn't always mean dollars and cents, right? Value and information is important, and knowing the seller's motivation or what they need. And so I had certain inside information. I knew where he was. I knew where he was going to end up way before she got the news. I already could see where the business was kind of going. So I was already 10 steps ahead. Mentally, I kind of just knew I was just watching. And I knew that there was certain things in need, right? He had a lease. They wanted to sue for the lease part. It was down to his last couple of bucks to finish out the tax season. There was royalties, franchise fees that were due. So there was a heavy burden on him. And I knew there would be value in just releasing the burden. He wasn't looking to make double his money, or he just wanted to bleed in the stock.
Yeah.
So I knew going into the negotiations that all I really needed to do was provide a Band-Aid. I knew I didn't need to just offer him this and offer him that. I just needed to offer him a way out so he could sleep at night and go back to flying jets.
Kudos to him for stepping out and
we love Sean, and but I knew that, and I also knew what the business made and what our expectations could possibly be to offer him his money and a return and all those sorts of things. So I just went to work. I drafted a proposal and I presented it, and he accepted, and we got the keys, and the wife got a Liberty tax bill, which we kept for about 2 months.
Let me tell y'all, it wasn't even a full week. All this went down. One, I gotten fired, and what do we do for money? So another amazing thing was, Tone is a whiz with the pen. So he ended up writing out, a severance for me to carry me a couple of months until I had it. So I walked away with money.
With buying.
Exactly. So I got a severance, to carry me for a few months. And then by the end of that week, we were back sitting at a Dunkin' Donuts, and Tone was having that conversation. And overall, I believe the stepping stone to that process was Chuck E. Cheese, because at Chuck E. Cheese, Chucky is in there, right? And eating the big suit, right? So as a manager, you're going through your training steps. I had to have a week that I'm in the Chucky suit. Don't laugh. I was in the suit. Embarrassed because Tony was there, and my training manager made sure he was there that week so he could see me in the Chucky suit. But overall, that was an uncomfortable space for me. I'm inside of y'all see me, I don't get no Chucky suit. I was cute then too, but in a Chucky suit, like what? However, I am a firm believer, if I am the boss, the manager, or someone running something, that I'm not going to ask my people that are part of my staff or working with me to do something I haven't done, won't do, or what have you. So I clearly know what it feels like to be inside the Chucky suit. And segue, that uncomfortability prepared me for the ownership of Liberty Tax. If you know Liberty Tax, you know that they have that
waiver
costume Liberty lady that's out on the streets waving you in to get your tax, that out of the box marketing that they do. That was a whiz by the time I got to that space, owning a Liberty Tax. I would jump in the suit and teach my young folks how to do it, and it's a no-brainer. So I believe that those uncomfortabilities that I went through, that failure that I thought happened, turned into a win. You'll understand that if you've seen our previous episodes about failure. So make sure you check out the other videos, because some of these things connect. But overall, it's not always money. And I learned that lesson hard and fast, but it was amazing what you understood about business. And I say that because, this is not something they necessarily teach you in business. You have to get out here in the game and get in with your peers to maybe gather this type of information. Thank you for tuning in.
I got a free ebook. Totally free for anyone who puts their email in. Click like, subscribe. It's called How to Start a Business, what every school should be teaching, but they don't.
We want to make sure that, you might hear some repeated content because it's true, but we also want to give you the stuff that nobody says. Nobody has ever told me in entrepreneurship that I could buy a business or get into business possibly without necessarily having all the funds, some of the funds, or anything like that, but understanding what the needs are from an entrepreneur or a business or that person that's selling or what have you, understanding whole-roundedly the plan, right?
It's about value, understanding what the value is for the person that's selling.
Yeah.
So again, you could buy businesses with no money, you could buy real estate with no money, but it's not something that I would try to start a strategy and build your whole business around it. There are deals out there that can happen, so nothing's impossible, but just think outside of the box. Understand that value is not limited to dollars and cents. There's other forms of value that you can add to a negotiation that may outweigh money if you know what the motivations are of the person that you're buying. That's really it.
What a lesson. I am sold. as I was a living example of such. So thanks, Tony. That was cool as fuck. Outside of that, you guys probably got some comments, don't you? Questions, concerns, or anything you'd like to add to this episode.
If you got a deal you need me to negotiate for you, let me know.
Listen, opportunities, stay in position, and please don't hesitate to reach out because, we out here trying to give our gifts.
We
right?
Free.
All right. Free gifts. Now you know. You know.
And remember, the number one investment should always be you.
Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you again, Mr. Pitts.
Peace.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.